Okay, so let's talk about something we've all probably wondered about when furniture shopping. How in the world do you choose a sofa that's actually eco-friendly without getting tangled up in confusing labels or spending a fortune? Today, we're going to cut through all that noise and give you a really practical guide to making a smarter choice.
Right? This is the classic dilemma. You want to do the right thing, you want to be sustainable, but you see the green label and immediately think, okay, this is just a premium tag for something I can't afford. So, is it a smart investment or is it just an expensive luxury? Let's actually figure that out.
So, here's our game plan. First, we'll tackle the green sofa dilemma. Then, we'll get into why going local is actually greener. We'll peek inside to see what makes a sofa built to last, break down the true cost of going cheap, and wrap it all up with a super simple checklist you can actually use.
All right, first up, the green sofa dilemma. Look, shopping is already a headache, but then you start seeing labels like eco-friendly or sustainable thrown around, and it's just so easy to get completely lost.
But here's the secret that cuts right through all that confusion. True sustainability when it comes to your furniture isn't about some fancy eco label. It really just boils down to two incredibly simple, practical ideas. How long is this thing going to last, and was it made somewhere nearby? Longevity and local. That's it. That's our focus.
So let's dig into that first idea, why local is greener. Because the power of buying something that was made close to home is actually way bigger than you might think.
And here's why it matters so much. A mass-produced sofa can travel over 2,000 kilometers to get to your living room. That's a massive carbon footprint from transport alone. Local, custom makers, on the other hand, build to order. That means zero waste from overproduction. And, at the end of the day, a sofa that lasts for 15 years is just fundamentally more sustainable than one that's headed for a landfill in 5. Simple as that.
So if longevity is the name of the game, what actually makes a sofa durable? Let's look past the pretty fabric for a minute and see what's happening on the inside, because that's where the real magic happens.
It all starts with the frame, the skeleton of the sofa. A quality hardwood frame can easily last over 20 years. It's the solid foundation. But a cheap softwood frame, it can start to lose its shape and its structural integrity surprisingly fast, which is what forces you into that wasteful cycle of replacing it over and over.
Of course, it's not just the frame. The fabric takes a beating every single day. You really want to look for durable, high-density weaves or even a good vegan leather, which is super tough and cruelty-free. But here's a pro tip, a real game changer. Removable, washable covers. Seriously, that one feature can easily tack on 5 or more years to your sofa's life.
Okay, we've covered the environmental side, but now let's talk about the financial side. This is where people think the budget option wins, no contest. But when you actually look at the numbers over the long run, a very, very different story starts to unfold.
Because over 10 years, the math completely flips. The biggest surprise here isn't the eco-benefit, believe it or not, it's the long-term price.
Just take a look at this breakdown. That budget sofa for 24,000 rupees seems like a great deal, but its lifespan is only about 5 years. That means you're buying it twice in a decade. So your true cost is actually 48,000 rupees. Now compare that to a standard custom sofa. Yeah, it costs more upfront at 36,000, but because it lasts the full 10 years, that's your total cost. You're already saving money.
And here's the bottom line. Over a decade, that cheaper sofa actually cost you 12,000 rupees more than the well-made custom one. Buying cheap turns out to be the most expensive choice, and that's not even counting the extra hassle of shopping, delivery, and disposal, twice.
So knowing all of this, let's put it all into practice. Here is a super simple checklist to help you make that smart, sustainable choice every single time.
It's just 6 easy steps. 1. Confirm that hardwood frame. That's non-negotiable. 2. Pick a high-quality, durable fabric. 3. Insist on those removable, washable covers. 4. Choose a classic design that won't feel dated in a couple years. 5. Verify that it's locally made. And 6. Just ask for a confirmed lifespan of at least 10 years.
Ultimately, everything we've talked about really comes down to this one simple idea. The most sustainable sofa is, and always will be, the one you don't have to replace. It just cuts through all the noise and reminds us that quality and longevity are what truly matter.
And that leaves us with a final question to think about. We're often made to feel like being eco-friendly has to be some kind of sacrifice or really complex. But what if, in this case, the most powerful sustainable habit is also the simplest one? To just stop buying things that are designed to fall apart and instead invest in quality that's built to last.